Go in class, we've been working on OA11 and OA12, and we're going to just do a little bit of review again of what we're doing with OA11 and OA12. And we've had some issues with order of operation and create an algebraic expression that represents problems. Okay, our lesson objective for this one is going to be I will be able to evaluate an expression according to PEMDAS, and I will be able to create an expression that could be used to solve a word problem. So this is going to be rather short. We're only going to have a couple examples here because we've done this in class a few times. Now the first one, here's a problem. Now we have to remember that our key to solving all these problems is PEMDAS, and that's please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Now parentheses, P means parentheses. Now parentheses could look like this. Sometimes they'll use brackets like this. They still represent, in this problem they're using brackets instead of parentheses, but they mean the same thing. Okay, an exponent would be the power on top, like 10 to the second. Multiplication and division, left to right, and addition to subtraction. So you always start up top and evaluate coming down, and you do the operation that you run into first. So looking at this expression here, what would you think we would do first? Okay, you should say parentheses. So we're looking inside the parentheses. Well, we got two operations inside the parentheses. So we have to go back to PEMDAS. There's no parentheses inside the parentheses. There's no exponents inside the parentheses. But there is a multiplication inside the parentheses. So I have to do that first. So I'm going to rewrite the problem every time I do something. This is 1/3 times my bracket, 10 minus, and the multiplication was 2 times 4. So that's going to be 8 plus 12. Now I'm going to reevaluate this expression again according to PEMDAS. And once again, it says parentheses. And the only thing inside the parentheses this time is subtraction. So we're going to do that. 1/3 times, and 10 minus 8 gives me 2 plus 12. Now we're going with 1/3 times 2 plus 12. If I look at PEMDAS here, I have no parentheses. I have no exponents. I do have a multiplication. I have 1/3 times 2. And this is 1/3 times 2 over 1 plus 12. So now when we multiply these, we're going to multiply across. This ends up being 2/3 plus 12. Because 1 times 2 is 2, 3 times 1 is 3, and our answer is 12 and 2/3. Okay? All right. Here's another one. Take a second, pause, try to do it on your own, and then I'll work through it. Okay? So once again, I'm going to put my PEMDAS up here first, just so I have a reminder. And I'm looking at first parentheses. Okay, since I have two operations, I'm going back to PEMDAS. I can see divisions first. So I got 1/4 times a bracket, 40 minus, and 4 divided by 2 is going to give me 2. Then my bracket minus 3. Now I'm come back to PEMDAS, and the next thing we're going to do is inside the brackets or parentheses. That's going to be 1/4 times, and this is 38 minus 3. Now we come back to PEMDAS and we have multiplication. So we know this is going to end up being 38 fourths, because 38 times 1/4 minus 3. But now I need to change this. I know 4 would go into 38 9 times. That'd be 36, and 2/4 left over. So, and we know 2/4 is equal to 1/2. So I'd have 9 1/2 minus 3, which 9 minus 3 gives me 6 1/2. Okay. All right. So that's PEMDAS. You just got to follow the PEMDAS, and I highly recommend you just do it like I do, rewrite the equation each time you solve something. Okay, our next lesson objective was we're looking at a problem, and we're going to sit there and write an algebraic expression to solve that problem. We're not going to solve it, we're just writing the expression. And easiest thing to do first is to draw a tape diagram to help you out to make sure. So we're starting with a tape diagram that says a farmer green picked 20 carrots. Okay, so I know the total here is 20 carrots. He cooked 2/3 of them. So I'm coming up here, and this is 2/3 of 20. Okay, and this was what was cooked. It says And he then gave 5 to his rabbits. So I'll put here 5. And he gave to rabbits. And it says, write the expression that tells how many carrots were left. Okay. So if I'm looking at this, I know by looking at this, to solve for 2/3 of 20, it's 2/3 times 20. Okay. And I'm looking for what is left. So by looking at this drawing, I can see I got 20 total. And I want to subtract what 2/3 of 20 is from that 20. Then I want to subtract another 5. Okay. Because if I take this 2/3 of 20 here, subtract it from 20, then I take the 5 and subtract from 20, it will give me what is left. Okay. Let's go ahead and solve it just to check our work. See if it comes out with a reasonable answer. Well, I know first thing I have to do is in parentheses. So I got 20 minus, and that's going to be 40 over 3 minus 5. Okay. Well, I can get rid of the 5 right away because 20 minus 5, that's going to give me 15 minus 40 over 3. Now, the 3 would go into 40. I know 10 would be 30. 11 would be 33. 12 would be 36. So 13 would be 39. So I know it'd be 13 and 1/3 minus 15. Now, when I take a look at this, I'm subtracting. I like to subtract from the whole, so 15 minus 1/3, okay, or 15 minus 13 will give me 2. 2 minus 1/3 will give me 1 2/3. So this is what was left. All right, last one. Farmer picked 20 carrots. So we're putting the 20 carrots up here. He cooked 5 of them. Here I got 5 cooked. He then gave 2/3 of the remaining carrots to his rabbits. So I know that this is the remaining. And he gave 2/3 of the remaining. That's 2/3 of remaining. So let's see what we could do for this. Well, first off, I need to find out what that 2/3 is. Okay. So first, I know that if I take 20 and I subtract the 5, that should give me what is remaining. Okay. So 20 minus 5. So that gives me what's remaining. And I want to know, and it says how many carrots rabbits will get. So I'm looking for 2/3 of the remaining. So I know this is the remaining. So I want to go 2/3 of the remaining. So when we solve this, we can see this is 15 times 2/3, which equals 30 over 3, which would equal 10. And we can check this because now we know 2/3 would be 10. So I know each one of these would be 5, and it adds up. Okay, but this is what we were trying to do. We were creating an algebraic expression that we could solve the problem with. And the tape diagram is very essential in doing that. Okay? All right. We'll see you in class tomorrow.